Hi guys, it's Nat here. Thought I'd get on and do a video before it gets so cold. I've got to put the heater on because it gets noisy. So this is, I think, my third installment in my Scrapbuster series. I've been wanting to do this one for a while. I keep all the scraps that I cut off of pages, tea-dyed papers, coloured papers, scrapbooking paper, any of that sort of thing. So it'd be great to start using this to make myself some embellishments so they're ready to go when I'm making my journals. So I thought I would do some little paper ruffles today because it's something that I just don't have, and if I'm going to sew them, it's a pain just to get up and sew one for whatever, you know, envelope or page I'm doing at the time. So it'd be really good to get a whole stack of them done and ready to go. So I think we'll start with this bag, which is all blank papers by the looks. Got a few dyed ones in interesting pieces. And some with serrated edges and all sorts. I don't want to use them all because I do have another plan for some of these. But we will definitely use some of them. So let's just grab a few different bits and pieces out. So what I might do is start with one of these, and I might just keep this one plain. So what I'm going to do is just fold it over that way, a bit like that. And then just repeat that. Now I don't mind if they're not straight or neat because I like the look of it. I want it to look rough and rustic. So you can see there. I find it easier to fold it and then go and sew than to fold it while I'm sewing. It's a bit different with the fabric for me. I don't know how others do it. Might leave that like that. And if the ends and the start are a bit long, you can just tear them off afterwards anyway. So there we've got a little paper ruffle there. So another thing we can do is ink the edges just to add a bit of colour. So I might do that with this one. Now the other thing we can do too is add strips of colour. So I might just grab this pink out. So then what we can do if we want to is stick this down. Might just use my stick glue. And can stick this one on top. And then we'll just let that dry for a minute. I've got some other colours of distress ink here too that we might try out. I'm using these little sticky dots. I've got to make sure I get the one I want. which isn't that one. Pick one of these to stick my little pads on. The only thing is you've got to make sure you don't put it down on anything you don't want the colour on. So I learnt that the hard way. Of course, if you can't be bothered sewing, you can just stick them down. To me, sewing's a bit easier, really, than sticking under each piece or whatever. So, but yeah, can do that as well. Inky fingers after doing this, that's for sure. Now, how about we do a couple of music pages as well? Should have some nice long bits in here somewhere. Can just cut some down if we have to anyway. Finger on it, that's a good bit. Let's see what we can do with these. I'll just rip this one a bit straighter. You make them wide or narrow. I like the little narrower ones probably better, but it's nice to have a range. This one I might just rip down. And we won't waste this piece either. And as you can see, these are being ripped, and you know, it's all different widths and everything. That won't matter, make a scrappier one. And then with this, we might chop it into some thinner bits. Got some strips for some smaller ones. Alright, so I'm going to go wash my inky fingers and then I will take you over to the sewing machine and we will sew some of those. Okay, so I'm at my sewing machine. I can't for the life of me see what's going on, so hopefully this will work and mind the noise. So I have some brown cotton in my sewing machine at the moment, so I'll just use that to do some of the ones that I want brown cotton in, and then I might change the cotton out and do the rest. So I'll just do these few with you to start off with. So I'm just holding it together as I sew and making sure that I've got them where I want them, so I'll just go bit by bit and fold them under as I go. I'm not going to bother going back and forth because I'll end up sticking these into my books and that anyway. So I've got looks like I've got it on zigzag at the moment, so I might leave it at that. Oh no, I haven't. What have I got it on? I haven't got it switched to I haven't got it switched to straight stitch, but that seems to be what it's doing, so we'll just run with that for the moment. So yeah, it's just a point of making sure you fold it under where you've done the folds as you go. And then I'm just going to pull it a little bit. You've got to be careful pulling it because we haven't gone back and forth, so it will unravel if you pull it too hard. So let's just get another one that's got a brown that we've inked in brown, because I'll do all of those with the brown stitch. Now I'm going to do it as zigzag, I reckon. So I will change that length, width. That's why I didn't go zigzag, because I didn't have any width. There. Now I'll just make sure some of my folds are all done. There. I'm not the fastest sewer, I'm still figuring this stuff out. I might do one of these green ones with the brown stitch. I think that'll look kind of nice. I'm liking the look of the zigzag too at the moment. Let's get it in there. Pull that carefully. So as you can see, you know, especially if you're used to sewing not like me, you could get these done pretty quick. Which side is this one meant to be on? That way it must be. And just do a big long line of them and then chop them all off when you're finished. Now we've got the music paper ones. Now I like that to be a bit longer at the base there, so I'll just change the fold. So of course you can change your cotton colour out as well, and that would make a big difference to how it looks. I think my thread's broken there, so we will leave it as is. I'll show you what I've done, and then I'll fix that up. I'm using this cheap thread I got, so it tends to get caught and break here and there. So where are we? There. So that's the one with the straight stitch. Sorry, my cameras, I hope it was in focus before. There's a straight stitch, and that's with the zigzag. So you could do all sorts of stitches and they look pretty cool. So I will finish sewing a whole heap and I will come back and show you when I'm done. So here are all my scrappy ruffles that I have sewn. Yeah, so once you get the hang of it, you could just sit there and make these for days, which I will do sometime. So I ended up doing all of them except for 2. Look at the mess I've made. Might start cutting them apart and then I can show you a bit easier. I did all of them but 2 with your brown cotton. And then I did the last 2 with some light grey cotton because I just thought it matched the colours better. I'm going to leave dangles on the end of the cotton. I like that look. It depends what I'm doing with it to whether I'll leave them or not, but I'll leave them for now. So this is the sheer like airmail paper. I didn't know how the sewing machine would go with that, but it went all right. So I did that with the grey cotton. I really love the way that's turned out. And then this pink one I did with the grey cotton as well in a straight stitch. I did find that my folding was a bit neat, so as I was sewing at times I would unfold a few sections just to make it, you know, not so neat, the segments. So, and then all of these I did in the brown cotton, so I'm just going to cut them apart. So, you know, they're scrappy little bits, but they definitely look a lot better and are more usable than the what they were beforehand, I reckon. And especially if they're coffee or tea dyed or you ink around the edges, they add something really nice to your embellishments or your pages. That's one of my little purple ones. I know why I had trouble with my cotton before. My spool ran out. I thought it had snapped the cotton, but I love that one, the purple ink. The inks are amazing, just how they transform things. So, you know, I only took 10 minutes or whatever really to make. Well, it would have if I wasn't talking so much and bumbling around, but once you get the hang of it, you know, a couple of minutes really to fold them up, a couple of minutes to sew them all, and you can get a whole heap done. And a great way to use up those scraps. You'll be seeing what I do with them in future videos where I make embellishments and do journals. So they're all my scrappy little ruffles that I've made so far. So I hope that gave you some ideas on how to use up some more of those scraps that we all have lying around, and, you know, not to waste anything. You could use the sides of, well, a lot of these are the sides and bottom bits of book pages that I don't use, and the cut-offs when I'm cutting pages down for journals, all that sort of thing. So great way to use them up. So take care, everyone. Have some fun. Get busting with those scraps. Take care. See ya.